Okay, so I haven't been completely honest. I've been honest about my open heart surgery, but I haven't been open-hearted. You know, making these videos, I have the tendency to want to act tough, and that emotionally I'm totally stable and totally fine with what's coming up. But the purpose of these videos was not to mask anything and mask any of the issues that I may have. And one of them is psychological. And I think back when I was a teenager, there's a guy that I revered as being super tough. And I remember him getting up in church to bear his testimony about Christ. And I remember him starting to tear up. And I remember specifically him saying, "I can't do this. It ruins my tough guy image." And from that point on, I realized that even tough men have feelings and can show emotions sometimes. I'm going to maintain composure because I can stop this video at any moment. But I just want to kind of let you know kind of the emotional battle that I've been having lately. So after hearing about my heart issues, I didn't really take it too hard. The next day, I went down to California. I ran the Spartan Beast. I've mentioned that before, but it wasn't until returning and meeting with the cardiologist and learning about the severity of my heart condition, and then being told that I couldn't work out and I couldn't run the Ragnar. And that's when it started to hit me. The day after I met with the cardiologist, I went to the gym with my wife because that's what we do. That's our morning routine. And I just sat and watched. And harder than any workout that I've ever done is being told now that I can't be active and I have to sit it out. And sitting out and watching everybody work out when I'm normally doing that was really hard for me. And harder than it should be. I'm addicted, I guess. So a couple days went by and I found myself bathed in self-defeat and anxiety and irritability, which my wife would agree. So out of frustration, I went to the gym the next day and I did the workout as normal. And you get motivated, and I do CrossFit, and so at the box you kind of choose somebody who you want to compete with, and I chose one guy, and I was going to beat this guy no matter what, and I pushed it to my limits. It wasn't good, and that day I went to work, and I started looking back at it. It was probably mostly all psychological, but I started to get some pain in my left arm. I started feeling chest pain. I struggled during the day. I almost asked my boss if I could go home early. So I went home. I was kind of muscling out, like trying to be tough and not think about it. But things progressed a little bit worse, and then I found myself in bed 11 o'clock just in a cold sweat, which is another sign reading online about a heart attack. So that night, told my wife we should probably go down to the ER because it's better safe than dead. And so we drove around. We found some friends with their lights on still. We asked them to watch our kids while we went to the hospital.
Right now I'm headed to the ER. I think it's 10:45 p.m. My heart's been hurting all day long. I've been kind of nauseous. I've had chest pain all day, like my heart's hurt quite a bit. And I didn't know if I was just coming down with the sickness or not. I'm kind of worried. I was laying down in bed all afternoon, and then I found, as I was laying down, that I was in a cold sweat. Anyway, all those symptoms seem to point towards some the symptoms of having a heart attack. So just as a precautionary, we're headed down to the hospital right now to check things out.
Okay, so we're here at the ER. Apparently, all you have to do to get past everybody else in the waiting line is just say you have chest pain and look very faint and squat down, and they get right to you. So they gave me a wheelchair ride off and brought me back here. Took a whole bunch of blood from me, and now we're waiting behind 4 or 5 other people that came in with chest pain. So that's what's going on right now. It turns out they gave me the EKG, they gave me a new CT scan, they pulled a lot of blood out of me, and with an IV, and they came back, and I talked to the doctor, and he's like, is it possible you're overthinking this? And I said, yeah, maybe. I don't know what a heart attack feels like. I never had one. And so it turns out everything was fine. We came home. We got home at 2:30 in the morning. But I will have to say it has been quite the struggle mentally. It's a mental struggle. And even though the surgeon says that the mortality rate is 2 to 3%, it may sound good to him statistically that's awesome, but I don't want to die. And even if I do live, getting my chest ripped open and going through that is really, really scary to me. And the recovery is not something to look forward to. And also, not only the psychological struggles I'm having, my wife is, she's right there with me experiencing the same thing. So we have to reestablish constantly that we are on the same team and we're going through this together. So I am absolutely amazed at all of the friends that have reached out to me in support and their love, offering prayers, and I'm amazed at that. So it is a definite faith builder, not only in Christ, but in the quality of friends that my wife and I have surrounded ourselves with. So we appreciate all of the support. Please leave a comment in the comment below if you have anything to say and any questions. I'd appreciate it. Thanks.